friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Santoshi. Today I'm going to talk about working rights in Australia. The reason I brought this topic to you is when I was a student, I was not aware of any of these rights. What should I do if my employer is not paying the right amount of salary? And what should I do if I'm injured at work? So I was not aware of any of this. So I thought this may help you if you are planning to migrate to Australia or planning to study in Australia. So let's explore on this. In Australia, there are broadly two types of employment offered. The first one is casual or contract type of employment, and the other one is permanent employment. Casual or contract employment is something that you are offered for a specified time or on a casual basis. For example, now Christmas is approaching, so some organizations specifically recruit for that particular period to accommodate the demand. So that could be 4 weeks or 6 weeks, or some on a casual basis. So you are called in for work when there is a shortage of staff for that particular day. So that is more like a casual or contract employment. Whereas the permanent employment is something that you are a fixed employee of the organization. So that means that you are eligible for some benefits offered by the organization, such as annual leave, sick leave, or any other benefits offered by that particular organization. The casual or contract employees are paid a bit more than the permanent employees to cover those annual leaves and sick leaves into that. It comes as a package, as a one-off. So the company do not have any they do have legal binding on some aspects, but when it comes to um, you know ending the contract, they're not eligible to pay for any redundancy packages. So that's the reason these casual and contract employments are paid a bit more than the permanent employees. And the second one, the salaries. How much is paid in Australia? So the national minimum wage rate in Australia is $21.38 as of the time I'm making this video, and this keeps changing every year. What this means is across the country, wherever you work, you must be paid the national minimum wage rate. So this is a fixed rate, but this may vary depending on the awards. So every position, every occupation has got an award. For example, software engineers has got their own award, and cashiers or cafe waitress, they have their own awards for that particular occupation. So the rates are decided based on the awards, but minimum wage rate is $21.38. When it comes to the other part, you will be paid extra on top of your minimum wage rate, which is superannuation. Superannuation is also, I call it as retirement savings. Yes, in a simple terms, it's a retirement savings. So what happens is, in Australia, there is 10.5% is paid on top of your wage rate. For example, you are earning $30 per hour. So you will be paid $3.15 on top of your wage rate. So $33.15. But that $3.15 are not going to hit your normal bank account. It goes into your superannuation account. So this superannuation account is a separate account with a superannuation organization. So every company has their own superannuation. So for example, company A is attached to a superannuation organization. So when you get an offer letter from that company A, so you will be automatically created an account for your super. So the one of the tips that I would like to offer based on my experience, because when I was a student, I was moving jobs more often, and that time what happened was I was not aware of that I need to carry my superannuation account with me. For example, I started with company A, and then my superannuation account was with company B. But when I moved to a company C, and that company C has attached superannuation organization, so I created a new account in there. So what happened was My balance was so small, it just got absorbed by this previous organization, superannuation organization. Just that funds have been absorbed by the management accounting fee. So if you keep on carrying your superannuation account with you, then that will increase your balance, and it helps you to um, accumulate more balance for your future. So make sure that you do that when you move your employees. This is very very important, because every time, especially when I was a student, I was more concerned about what hits my bank account, but I was not really concerned about or careful about my future savings. So these are your hard-earned money as well. Make sure that you carry those superannuation account with you. If you find a better superannuation account or better superannuation organization, you transfer these funds into your new superannuation fund account. So this is very very important for you to consider. And you may be wondering, there might be another question: what happens if I'm a temporary resident? I'm going to be there only for 2 years, and what happens to my retirement savings when I leave the country? This is where most of the temporary residents leave behind the superannuation funds. There are billions of dollars are unclaimed in Australia, and this is very important for you to have a look at before you are leaving the country, because that's your money. You have the right to take that money with you. So if you are permanently moving out of the country, you can fill out a form and then submit it to the superannuation account, funding account and funding organization, and they verify it, and then they transfer those funds into your normal bank account, so you can take them while you are leaving the country. So this is very important for you to consider when leaving the country. And the third one which I'm going to talk about is overtime and double time rates. Yes, when you're working above your contract rate, contract hours, for example, you are contracted to work only 20 hours per week, but you have worked 25 hours. That 5 hours is your overtime hours. So that is to be paid with overtime rate. And when you're working on Saturdays, you get 1.5 times pay. If you're working on public holidays, you get double time pay. So these are the normal uh, rates that's been provided in Australia for working overtime Saturdays and public holidays and Sundays. And the next one, what happens if you are injured at work? If you are injured at work, you are covered under the workers' compensation. So the workers' compensation is already provided by your employer, so he pays workers' compensation um, insurance on behalf of you. So you have the right to claim workers' compensation when you are injured at work. So what happens is, like for example, you trip over in your office and you hurt your knee or you hurt your back, and you are unable to go to work because of that. You get paid under workers' compensation for that particular period. So you have to make sure that you claim that if you are injured at work. Most of the big organizations are aware of this workers' compensation and penalty rates and other things. But when you're working for a small organizations, there is a chance of missing all this. So this is just for your knowledge purposes, that if you're working for the right employer, then these all should be paid out to you before you even ask. What are the red flags? How do you know that your employer is not the right employer paying you as per the working laws in Australia? There are 3 red flags that I'm going to talk about now. The first red flag is if you are not offered a letter of employment. So your offer letter is not provided by your employer, that's a red flag. And the second one, if you are paid by cash, then that's another red flag. And you're not provided any pay slips, that's another red flag. So these are some of the red flags that you need to be aware of, that your employer is not working as per the laws, working laws, employment laws in Australia. So hope you find this video useful, and that's all about working rights in Australia as far as I know. And if you have anything that you think that I missed, please let me know. And this is very important for you to consider, especially the superannuation account. and hope you like this video. If you like it, please share and subscribe to my channel. I'll get back to you with another topic. Until then, bye. Thank you.